Right, hey people. It's finally here. It's finally here. What the fuck? The remaster, quote unquote. Ooh, Type Moon presents. The tip of the sword was like a flash of lightning. A spearhead thrust to skewer the heart. Even attempting to evade it was pointless. It was but a flash, too swift for the human eye to follow. And yet, Moonlight swept in to save me from the strike that threatened to end me. The sound was beautiful, like the tolling of a bell. No, truth be told, the sound hung over me, heavier than an iron weight. This beauty had little to do with aesthetics. The stark armor wrapped about her was like the frozen night itself. The ringing was not itself pleasant. It was the sound of steel, but the night herself was beautiful enough to make it into the chiming of the bell. Her voice resonated in the darkness. Indeed, the pact was sealed. Just as she chose to serve me. I'm sure, in that moment, that I swore to save her. The moonlight cut through the darkness. As if in imitation of the night, the storehouse regained its former calm. Time had stopped. The vision before me had lasted less than a second. Be that as it may, I will always remember the sight of her, as clearly as it were still happening now, even if I fall into the depths of hell. The faint slant of her profile, her serene, divinely green eyes. For a moment time stopped, and her silhouette, draped in blue, swayed in the wind. I was struck by the pale blue glow. Her hair, as fine as golden thread, was bathed in the moonlight. This happened 10 years ago. I see someone who takes me back. He's tall, with chiseled features. I've never known him to crack a joke. He ruffles my hair affectionately. No, that's not what this is. It's more like he's grasping my head and working it like a stubborn jar lid. Maybe he doesn't know how to control his strength. That's only to be expected. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. It's time for me to leave. You know what to do next. And I answered yes, in a sober voice. He nodded once, withdrew his hand, and stood up. That's all. Had I known this would be the last time we would ever see each other, I would have done my best to make him laugh with the perfect joke. I've been practicing punchlines in private, in the hopes of finally seeing a smile crack from that stony face. If I have one regret, it's that I never got to tell him any of my jokes. Get the association in your depth before you become an adult. Any decisions after that, I leave up to you. I'm sure you'll manage on your own. So he said, but I bet he was worried about me. He told me about our family's heirloom jewels, the gems passed down to us from our Grand Master, and how to manage the underground workshop. It was a rapid-fire course of subjects he never taught me before. Even as a child, I realized that he would probably never come home again. There was a war. Not a war between countries, but between people. But in this war, there were only 7 combatants. It might not have seemed fitting to call it a war, but having mages involved changes things. 7 mages from different factions competed, but I wasn't sure why. They killed each other using methods I didn't really understand. One of them was the man in front of me. It meant that he would kill and eventually be killed. I'm sure he felt the tickling of his life's clock even more keenly than I did. Rin. Before long, the Holy Grail would appear. It is the duty of the Tosakas to obtain it, but above all, it is the path we are destined to walk as mages. And with that, he ruffled my hair one last time and left. I never saw him again. My father's last teacher was one of the masters who participated in the Holy Grail War. He never came home. I bid him farewell, as a well-behaved daughter should. I knew I was on the verge of tears, but I didn't show them. I love him. He was a great father, and an even greater mage. Mages are stubborn people. As far as I knew, there wasn't a more upstanding man in the whole world. As my instructor, he trained me. As my father, he loved me. So I decided that I'd accept the things he left for me and chose my own path. Rin, before long, the Holy Grail will appear. It is the duty of the Tosakas to obtain it, but above all, it is a path we are destined to walk as mages. In the end, his final words for me were given as a mage, not a father. That's the moment I made up my mind. It's only natural for an apprentice to live up to her master's hopes. That's how I, Rin Tosaka, grew up after experiencing life's twists and turns. It's been 10 years since my father went off to war. I wouldn't say I've been looking forward to this day, but I am a bit on edge. This goes without saying, after all. That the moment which was burned into my memory 10 years ago will soon be upon me again. I hear something. The noise doesn't stop. It's such an infernal racket. It's almost as if it's here to avenge my father. I wish I'd just let me sleep a bit more. In fact, it should. I stayed up into the early hours deciphering my father's will, and I used a hell of a lot of magical energy to do it. I'm totally exhausted, body and mind. The alarm clock is dead to my complaints. What kind of machine makes a noise that seems like its sole purpose is to remind you that you're late? True, but there's a time and place for everything. No matter how much of an overachiever I am, I should try to make it to school on time at least for today, if only slightly. Hmm? Doesn't that sound off? I peer at the alarm clock through my sleep-heavy eyelids. The hands point to 7 o'clock on the dot. I usually get up at 6:30. That means I've already used up my safety margin. Speaking of which, why is my brain so slow in the morning? I glare at the alarm clock for several seconds. I shut off the alarm and climb sluggishly off the bed. The morning chill bites at me as I cross the hallway and enter the parlor. This is the final 7 a.m. in January. Why are we in school? What the fuck? Why are we already in school? I thought we were still at Osaka's house. Winter in Fuyuki are relatively warm, but mornings here are cold as anywhere. Even at home, my breath mist white. It's that much cooler without anyone else living here. Why are we already in school? I turn on the heater and go wash up. Single living is so inconvenient at a time like this. If there was someone else here to wake up before me, then the parlor would already be heated. Wait, what the fuck was that? I wash my face at the sink. I run the brush through my long hair and get dressed. A chilly morning in the frigid bathroom. The only thing we said for is the cold water mercilessly beating the sleepiness from me. With a final tug on the ribbon on my collar, I finish getting dressed. All that's left is to have breakfast and go to school. The clock reached just past 7, so my morning rush feels a bit anticlimactic. Oh, I can't wait for how buggy this gets. Of course, I'd never do anything so uncaught as sprinting to school. The Tosaka family motto dictates that we must conduct ourselves with confidence and elegance at all times. My ancestor must have been some high and mighty aristocrats if that's what we've taught through the generations. The anachronistic mansion I live in is proof enough of that. Plus, the Tosakas are a line of weavers who practice what is known as magecraft. We're not just an old family. We have an admirably storied history. In fact, I literally can't talk about it. The truth is, I'm a mage. Who could I even brag about that to? As the name suggests, magecraft is what most normal people would see as magic. It sounds like supernatural woohoo, and if you like to think of it as just wiggling your fingers and saying abracadabra, that's fine too. Just think of us as people who chant weird words and make equally weird stuff happen. That said, we don't fly around on broomsticks. We don't shoot stars out of wands either. We can do things kind of like that, but there's no point, so we don't. We're pretty much heretics who lurk in the shadows of society. We're not allowed to draw attention to ourselves, and anyone who has the time for that kind of thing would rather spend it on their research. Ordinary humans might call us magicians, but that would be wrong. In fact, there are only 5 magicians in the whole world. Magicians are what we call people who can do something no one else can. They can accomplish feats beyond the means of modern science and perform genuine miracles. Similarly, magic is the label we use for mystics. Magical mysteries that can't be realized with any amount of time or skill. While magecraft, though it looks mysterious, is something anyone can do with enough time and resources. I'm a mage, and the kind of mystics I use are merely magecraft, not true magic. Confusing, I know, but that's how it works. Also, modern society doesn't accept the existence of mages. We believe in, manipulate, and study things that can be measured, which puts us at odds with modern society. Above all, there's no point to any of what we do. You'd be so much happier just going off to a normal school and becoming a normal adult than you would studying magecraft. Human technology has accomplished great things. For the last few centuries, magecraft has been playing catch up to the progress of civilization. Nothing is impossible for humanity anymore. Miracles that could only be realized with magecraft in the distant past have been reduced to common tools and appliances. Even so, magecraft does have its benefits. Just as there are some things only science can accomplish, there remains heights only mystics can reach. If science is racing into the future, then mages are racing into the past. I think the Tosaka Grandmaster said that. Whether you're heading into the past or the future, your destination is the same, zero, or something like that. We can shelve the difficult topics for now. Philosophy is for the elderly. Wait, what the fuck was that just now? Why are we still in school? Why are we in school, man? I finished my breakfast and picked up my bag. I'm reluctant to take something so valuable to school, but it would be a waste to leave it behind. At least it's still dependent and not something weird. One could even say it's an entirely different level. I obtained the jewel after decoding my father's will last night. It's imbued with 10 years' worth of my own magical energy. I've been told that the Tosaka family has heirloom jewels passed down since the olden days. This might be one of them. Tosaka mages specialize in the conversion and flow of power. We channel our own magical energy into precious gems whenever we have a spare moment. Simply put, I'm the gun and the jewels are bullets. The other main thing I've inherited from my father is the magical crest engraved into my left arm. A magical crest is proof I'm a heir to our lineage. It's like all the techniques of the Tosaka condensed into a tattoo. For now, I stole my pendant, my father's keepsake, into a pocket. It's 7:30. I'd better leave soon if I don't want to be late for school. Wait, what the fuck that showed up? What is that? I weave energy into a brief foreign phrase. As a mage, is this the right background? As a mage, I can't neglect the security of my home base. I don't think this is the right background. This still applies, even if I never had so much as a single burglar, lost child, or stray cat wander into my home. This doesn't look like our house. Like a random part of the woods. Somewhere near the Ironsburn Castle or some shit. Actually, I don't think the neighbors have ever even come over to say hello. I look up at the mansion that's been my house for over a decade. Fuyugi is a strange city. One side of the intersection, dividing the residential area, is filled with old samurai estates, while the side I'm on has an abundance of mansions built in European style. When I look at the background, I don't think this is anywhere near of any of the two. Apparently, a whole bunch of foreign families immigrated here long ago, but I never seen a single foreigner around. There's even a cemetery for foreigners in Shinto, the new part of the city across the river, but it was built for the generation that immigrated here. I make a mental note to ask the priest about it next time I visit the church. Yurakombe. It's nothing if not full of boring trivia for sure. Oh. Something feels off as soon as you step outside. You're already at the bridge? That's so fast. How did you get to the woods to the bridge? I mean, you're walking underneath the bridge after coming from the woods. There's no trace of the typical morning bustle. At 7:30 in the morning, there would normally be students and workers on their daily commute. Maybe everyone slept in. It's unusually cold today, so everyone must have snuggled up in bed. Why are we in the rooftop now? It's already evening. Even if that were true, It's strange that there isn't a single student on the street. I mean, you're on top of a rooftop at this time of day. You'd expect to see at least a school uniform or two. I don't think so. It's the night, man. It's the night. And yet, from where I'm standing at the school gate, it looks like morning club activities are just starting up. I don't think it's even morning anymore. What can only mean? Which can only mean. Wait, why am I talking to one of? Why am I talking to one of Illya's attendants right now? With a light sigh, I turn to face the student who called out to me. She doesn't look like a student. Is this some sort of new thing? The girl who addresses me so casually is Ayako Mitsuzuri. I don't think this is Ayako. She's my classmate 2A. She has quite a history. What the fuck? Why did she turn into a dude? Why did she turn into a dude? She waves her hand in front of me as if to ask if anybody's home. Ayako is one of my few friends, and she knows I'm not a morning person. She's probably figured out by now that I'm still not completely with it. What's going on here? You gotta ask me, why did she turn into Illya's attendant and then because this dude? Father must have set the clocks to go haywire once I take the pendant out of the underground cellar. But somehow we're in the rooftop right now. Wait, what? What happened? Why did he change? Are we talking to a shapeshifter? I'm acquainted with 3 of its members. One is Ayako, the girl I'm talking to right now. I barely ever speak to the other 2. Of those latter 2, there's one that I actually can explain away as simply an acquaintance. I'm becoming friends with Ayako, the club captain, because I've been watching the club from afar. From a guy who jumps from a vault or some shit. One of our school's trademarks is this well-equipped archery range. The chair of the school board has a passion for Kyudo, traditional Japanese archery, so they built a magnificent range on campus. It's kind of a waste for a high school club, to be honest. Ayako tugs on my arm, looking somewhat pleased. If I'm being honest, her brusque way of speaking is a bad habit. Wait, we're back home? Why are we back home? Why are we back home? Why did we? I thought we went to school. Why are we home again? As Ayako said, there's no one else at the range. With such Japanese tea that is so hot it numbs my tongue as we prepare ahead for today's classes. How can you be preparing for classes if you're back home? The hot drink is delicious in the quiet, wintry archery range. I don't think this is an archery range, man. He used the occasion to ask me something completely ridiculous.
その言いぶりだとそっちはもう見つけたんだ。ノーコメント。遠坂が手を沸かす。
What is going on? I don't even know anymore.
その疲れた顔を見ると脈ありって感じだけど。
You know what? Let's skip a little ahead. How do you skip?
こっちもノーコメント。あなたに隠してもどうせ見抜かれるさ。残念ながらこっちはまだよ。綾子の方、お互いのんびりしてる余裕はないはずだけど。そうなんだけど、私も雲行きは怪しいわ。とりあえず取り付くことはできるけど、ことがことでしょ。この先の命運がかかってるんだから妥協するわけにもいかないし。もちろん私にとって重要なのは初めて会った時に言ったでしょ。あんたとはそういう関係ない。
I actually don't know how worse this gets. I'm done. I'm done until they fix this, man. Wait.
遠坂が男を気にかけるなんてことは絶対ないもの。
Yo, why is Illya here, man? Why is Illya here? So fast. Okay.
ああ、いいっていいって。本人が弓をやらないって言うんなら無理をさせても仕方ない。
Why is Illya here? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Wait. Wait, why is he here?
ああ、また後でね、遠坂。ああ、ありがとう。さくらもしっかりね。
いやあ、遠坂。おはよう。
Why is Ryder? Why is Ryder here, man? What? What?
Ohayo, Mato君。今日は早いのね。
What? Why is Gilgamesh here, man? Gilgamesh.
当たり前だろ。首相なんだから早めに。
そう。
Wait, was that fucking? I'm done, man. I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. Holy shit. Holy shit, what am I looking at? I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm done.